Good evening, welcome back to the West Ham Network Extra. I am Alex, and I don't really know what to take from yesterday's game against Manchester United. We won, which is good. Were we lucky? Yes, we were. Because Manchester United were the better team in the first half. They just couldn't take their chances. And man, did they have chances. I mean, it could have been like 4-0 at half time, but it wasn't. It was 0-0. And in the second half, we were much better and we got the win. Yeah, it was a dodgy penalty. Was it? Was it not? I mean, I can see why it was given, but I think I would have been very annoyed if it was given against us. So, I get why Man United fans are a little bit annoyed, but do I have any sympathy for them? Not really, because we've had loads of things go against us against Manchester United over the years. So, it's their comeuppance as far as I'm concerned. I'm not really that fussed. We got the win. So, look, it's good that we got the win. But as we say, like the first half performance that we put in was very poor because we went with the starting lineup that just wasn't right. You know, we started Paquetá, whose form is just dipped. I'm really starting to get concerned about him because he's just not the player that he was a couple of years ago. He just isn't at the moment, and it is starting to become a real concern. There was no Somerville in that starting lineup, which really confused everyone I spoke to. Like, we all expected to see Somerville in that starting lineup, but he wasn't there. And the annoying thing is that half time he made the changes that we all wanted to see, and he changed it to the team that we pretty much wanted to see from the beginning of the game, because he took Mavropanos off. Now I think that was a small knock, and put Todibo on, who had missed some training sessions during the week, so I wonder if that had something to do with it. Possibly. Fabianski did really well in goal, by the way. He took Soler off and he took Paquetá off, he brought Souček on and he brought Somerville on, and then we looked good. When we played that starting lineup that we all pretty much wanted to see, we played a lot better. And it just leaves you with this question yet again. Why didn't he do that from the beginning? Because we have seen this countless times. The Crystal Palace game, we played really poor in the first half. And then he changed it at half time to the team that we pretty much wanted to see from the beginning. We looked a lot better. We had the Brentford game where he made bold changes in that game to change the lineup. And we looked a lot better in the second half. And now, we didn't agree with the changes in the Brentford game, but we have to admit that it did work. And we also saw it again yesterday against Manchester United. We saw it against Fulham as well, right? We made changes at half time. We looked better in the second half against Fulham as well. But why doesn't he do this from the beginning? Well, why? Why? Because like everyone kind of knew we wanted to see Somerville. Somerville needed to start, but he didn't. But then he made that change. He looked great, and it was like, yeah, that was the obvious. Why didn't you do that? I don't know. Look, it is a positive that he's not afraid to make bold changes. That's one of the things that I have liked about Lopetegui. He's not afraid to make those bold choices, to make those changes that need to be made. You know, take off players that you usually wouldn't take off. The previous manager never would have changed some of these lineups if we were seeing those performances. If that was the old manager in charge, we would have continued seeing that team, and we'd have been continuing riding our luck till probably the 70th minute when he made some changes. And would we have got the same result? Not entirely sure. Possibly not. So look, it's definitely a positive that he's making these changes, but it's not positive that he's needing to make these changes. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not too sure what to feel at the moment. Now, we're on 11 points after 9 games, which is not fantastic, but it's not terrible. We're above Manchester United, only 2 points behind Tottenham, who are in 8th. So, you know, we get a result against Nottingham Forest at the weekend, and then suddenly things are starting to look a little bit more rosy, and then we get a win against Everton, things are starting to look even better. So, it's a tipping point at the moment. It can go either way, can't it? But yeah, I'm really concerned about the performance in the first half, but really encouraged by the performance in the second half. And we want to see the performance in the second half a little more, and we want to see him getting it right from the first minute instead of the 45th. Right? We need to be putting in these performances from the first minute, not late on in the game. And we haven't been so far. So yeah, not really sure what to take from the game. I'm glad we got the win. I'm glad that we saw a much better performance in the second half than we did the first half, but I'm still really concerned about the starting lineups, because there's too many times this season where the starting lineups have not worked and we've needed to make drastic changes to drastically improve the performance. And it just makes you wonder, does he know the starting lineup? Does he know his best starting lineup? I don't think we know the best starting lineup. I think we can all agree that, you know, at the moment I think it's got to be Fabianski in goal. I think he did really well, and then the back four picks itself: Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman, Emerson. The midfield is a little bit more questionable, especially at the moment. I think Alvarez played really well. So it was good to see him back in the side. Todibo, actually, when he came on, like, really improved our defence. We looked so much more calm defensively, so much more solid defensively. And I know he didn't have a fantastic game against Tottenham, but he is a brilliant defender. He has to be the first name on that team sheet. He has to be. So yeah, that defensive line sorted. Alvarez has got to be in there for me. Now, do you go with Rodriguez, who I think is gradually improving? I wasn't disappointed with his performance in that game. I wasn't. I was impressed by Soucek when he came on. He looked really good. But Paquetá needs to be dropped, as far as I'm concerned at the moment. He needs to be used as an impact sub, because he's just giving the ball away too much. And he's just so inconsistent. He's just not the same player at the moment, is he? It's so frustrating to watch. So, yeah, the midfield is a little bit questionable. I think you've got to put Soucek in there because he is putting in those performances at the moment. But we need a little bit more pace. I have had a thought of something we could try. Possibly, I might make a different video on that. Actually, I might make a different video on that. Actually, I'm going to work on that idea. But yeah, I mean, you'll see Bowen. Somerville's got a star at the moment because there's no Kudus, and Antonio up top. It's just, you know, who takes that other midfield spot? Is it Sola, Irving, someone else? I mean, when Kudus comes back, I'd love to see Kudus in that 10. Yeah, so it's still the midfield's an issue for us. But look, we got another result. We've got 7 points in our last 4 games, and there's a win against Manchester United there. So that is a positive. That is a positive. So hopefully we go into the game at the weekend against Nottingham Forest, and we can pick up a result in that game, and we can start looking forward. Someone said today that usually when you get a dodgy decision like that can sometimes kickstart your season. So hopefully that decision that went in our favour against Manchester United does kickstart our season, and things start to improve. And Lopetegui starts getting it right from the first minute instead of the 45th. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Really appreciate it. If you've liked this video, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I shall be on the main West Ham Network channel tomorrow night for Alex's TikTok takeover, so come over and join me for that. And yeah, be back later this week with some more videos and maybe another live on this channel. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Good morning, good evening, good night. Wherever you are watching, come on, you Irons.